Alright, so the Lions got a big matchup this week. Week 4 against the Chitoiwit Care Bears. It's WarWeek. So playing Chicago this week, the Bears. You know where I stand with the Bears. I cannot stand that team. So yeah, Lions and Bears this week. Let's go through the matchup and see what we have this week. So of course, the current point spread has the Bears favored in this game by 3 points. So it's going to be a close game. So in terms of the head-to-head matchup, Chicago, of course, leads the all-time head-to-head series 102-75-5. But Detroit has won 10 of the last 16 meetings, including the last time the Lions and Bears met each other. And of course, that last meeting, that was a game where the Bears lost to a Lions team that just fired Patricia and had nothing to play for. Did I mention the Lions had nothing to play for in that last meeting? But of course, this year, Detroit currently is 0-1 on the road this year. Chicago is 1-0 at home. So yeah, pretty even matchup. Of course, both teams with losing records. Now, originally, this game would probably more than likely be a tank bowl. But there's one problem with that. Chicago don't have a first-round pick this year. They traded that pick away. And that pick is now property of the New York Giants. So, Detroit has two options this week. Either A, damage Chicago's pick and screw the Giants over, or B, beat the Bears this week and help the Giants out by making that pick gain value. Because every loss the Bears have this year, that first-round pick they gave up to the Giants gains value. So, yeah, in terms of the offense on the Bears, so they have three different quarterbacks. So, you have Andy Dalton, who started the year off as the starter, and then the second game of the year, he ended up leaving after suffering a knee injury. He is questionable for this game with that knee injury, so could he go if they decide to pull the plug on Fields? And of course, you got Nick Foles, you got Justin Fields here, who Fields so far, Rusty Fields, as I like to call him, he's looked like a bum so far. He's looked like absolute ass. He was definitely rushed in way too quickly. He should not even be starting. The one question I have here with Dalton and Fields being QB1 and QB2, why the fuck is Nick Foles still here then? Oh yeah, that's right, because the Bears chose to take Nick Foles' awful contract anally. That's how. And no one's dumb enough to take Foles' awful contract. So yeah, and of course Justin Fields for this game, he is questionable for this game with a hand injury. Wow, 3 games in the season and Justin Fields is already looking like a liability on the Bears. Remember when Lions fans wanted this bum in the draft? Where are all those dumbass Lions fans now? Where are all those dumbass Fields sexuals? And the funny thing is, those same Lions fans that wanted Justin Fields, they were the same motherfuckers that wanted the Lions to draft Tua last year. And the year before that, they were the same motherfuckers that wanted the Lions to draft Dwayne Haskins. Or whoever the hot, shiny new QB toy was. And guess what? All those Lions fans that wanted the Lions to draft Justin Fields in the draft, they're going to be the same Lions fans that want the Lions to draft Mark Howell. Or whoever the new flavor of the month is. Or maybe even Desmond Riddler because he's black. That's just the truth. I think a lot of Lions fans only want the Lions to draft Fields just because of his skin color. To be perfectly honest, I don't give a fuck about skin color. If you can play QB and throw the ball, that's all and if you can win us games, that's all I fucking care about. Let me be real. Fields was a bum. I never wanted him. And to this day, I still don't want him. Like, Chicago's going to learn there was a reason why Detroit passed on him and why a good chunk of us real Lions fans didn't want his ass. So then at the running back, you got a 3-man rotation at running back. You got David Montgomery Burns. You also got Tariq Cohen. You also got Damian Williams in there as well. The receiving core, you got Darnell Mooney. You also got Allen Robinson. You got Anthony Miller. And in the tight end core, you got names like Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet. So yeah, some decent pieces in there for sure. On the defensive side, you got Eddie Goldman, who's questionable with a knee injury. Who's back, and he's also back after opting out last year because of the plague. And then you got Akeem Hicks. You also got Belair Nichols and Angela Blackson. And in the linebacking core, you got Khalil Mack. You got Robert Quinn. But they are going to be down and missing Devin Trevathan, who's on the IR with a knee injury, so he's out. And then you got Roquan Smith, though, who's been a very underrated player on the Bears defense. It's been outplaying Khalil Mack. Well, then again, when everyone focuses on Khalil Mack, that opens the door up for someone to step up, and Roquan stepped up. And in the secondary, you got names like Jalen Johnson, Desmond Trufant. You also got Kendall Vinder. You also got, what was that name? Duke Shelley, there we go. And then we got Eddie Jackson. And then Tayshaun Gibson, he is questionable for this game with a ham injury. Just looking at my notes at when I was writing here. So yeah, the secondary has players. The defense is mainly this team's bread and butter. The offense has always been the Bears' issue. Of course, the head coach for this game is Matt Nagy. And then the offensive coordinator is Bill Lazar. And then the defensive coordinator is Sean Desai. And, of course, this is Sean Desai's new defensive coordinator after Chuck Pagano retired after last year. Mainly because Chuck Pagano saw what the future of the Bears is going to be going forward. And Chuck took the first chance he could to get the hell out. So, of course, from this week on, we're going to be using the 2021 rankings from here on out. So far through 3 games, Chicago's offense is ranked dead last and 32nd. They are dead last in pass in the passing game. And they're 20th running the ball. Then again, that's because Justin Fields can't throw the ball, and Justin Fields is just a carbon clone of Lamar running back Jackson. We might as well call him Justin running back Fields. No, that doesn't have the same fucking rhyme or rhythm as Lamar running back Jackson. That don't work like that. The defense, though, is pretty mid-pack right now through 3 games. The defense is currently ranked 15th. They're 11th against the pass, and the Bears' defense is tied for 20th against the run. So the Bears' defense has had a number of issues stopping the run. So yeah, that's the big key to the game. It's just simply run the ball. And run the ball. Just run the ball, feed Swift the ball. Just do that. Just keep running the ball. And the Bears' running game, there's a lot of questions about it too. Actually, not many questions. It's mainly the passing game because the Bears cannot seem to get a QB. Because let's be real. Justin Fields is going to be a bust. He's going to be a bust mainly because, one, Ohio State QBs have never been even worth a damn in the NFL. Let me put this in perspective. There have been 34 Ohio State QBs that started in the NFL. Of those 34, all 34 combined for a grand total of 0 Super Bowls. And a majority of them have losing records. And keep in mind, the same amount of hype Justin Fields had under the draft last year, it was the same amount of hype that Dwayne Haskins got a few years ago. The last QB that got taken in the first round out of Ohio State. And look how Dwayne Haskins has turned out so far. Need I say more? So yeah, Fields is going to be a bust. Plus add on the fact that Chicago's never had a franchise QB and can never develop QBs worth a damn. Just look at the last QB they threw everything in for their franchise. And Mitch Trubisky. And Trubisky ended up being a bum. And now Trubisky is gone. And for everyone saying that, oh, the Bears made a mistake getting rid of Trubisky because Trubisky owned the Lions. No. Trubisky never owned the Lions. He owned Matt Patricia. The only time Trubisky ever beat the Lions was when Matt Patricia was still the coach. The 3 other times Trubisky played the Lions when Patricia wasn't the coach, he lost. Both meetings in 2017 when the Lions still had mediocre Jim Caldwell. Lost them both. Last year when they played a Lions team with Darrell Bevell at head coach. And a Lions team that had their season end at Thanksgiving the week prior. They cleaned the house out. And the Lions had nothing to play for in that last meeting in November last year. And the Lions still beat the Bears. Because the Bears are just what they are, who we thought they are. They're mediocrity defined. The Bears are going to be nothing but mediocrity. Justin Fields is going to be a bust. And odds are when Fields ends up being a bust, that will probably be the final nail in the coffin for Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace and the rest of this Bears regimen. Because this regimen is living and dying by the Justin Fields sword. Because if Field turns out to be a bust, it will more than likely cost Nagy and Ryan Pace their jobs. Let's be real. For Bears fans, the Bears drunken stumble to the playoffs was the worst thing to happen to the Bears franchise. Because it just tricked Virginia McCaskey, that old bitch. Yeah, that stupid old bitch. That playoff run tricked her into keeping everyone around for a few more years. For the rest of the NFC North, it was a blessing in disguise because we get to see the Bears become a mediocre mess again. It's pretty much like they were in 2017 before Nagy showed up. Nothing has changed. And honestly, it's honestly looked more like their 2018 run was more of a fluke, and they only got that run because Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy had a lot of dilemma and drama, and the rest of the NFC North was taking a year off. And Chicago just happened to do the bare minimum that year. Because ever since that run, the Bears have not done better than 8-8. And let's be real, last year Chicago had no business being in the playoffs. They only got in because Arizona happened to be worse than them. Simple as that. Yeah, we all saw that Chicago had no business being in the playoffs, especially with how they played against the Saints. And even being forced onto fucking Nickelodeon. Yeah, the worst possible punishment for kids ever. Forcing them to watch the Chicago Bears on Nickelodeon. Honestly, that should be classified as fucking child abuse. Having your kids watch the Bears. That should be considered child abuse. But yeah, this game, there should be no... I think this is easily a winnable game. Like, Detroit's rough stretch just ended. Sadly, that rough stretch more likely ends the Lions season, which, hey, it's a rebuilding year. We weren't expecting to do much anyway. But yeah, this is one of the games I think the Lions can win. I mean, at the start of the year, I had this as a 50-50 game. Like, because in the end of the day, no matter what time of year it is, it's always tough to play in Chicago at Soldier Field, at Dump. So it's very tough to play there. So it's still going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a sloppy game or a high-scoring game because even though Fields looks like a bust, this is the Lions, and the Lions' defense somehow made Mitch Trubisky look good. I don't know. Do they make Justin Fields look good? Or do they make Justin Fields still look like a fucking bum? And I swear, people that think Fields is going to be different from every other Ohio State QB, it sounds like fucking communism to me. Oh, those previous failures weren't real QBs. But this time it's going to work. I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. But yeah, this game, I have the Lions winning this game. Like, I think this is a winnable game, and the Lions, this is a game the Lions win. Plus the most Lions thing for the Lions to do after pretty much having their season end last week is get a meaningless win just to sucker everyone back in. Because that's what the Lions do. As soon as they drain all your hope out, they'll win a meaningless game or two and try to bring you back in before dick punching you back to reality. That's just the Lions' way. They're gonna sucker you back in. So what happens this week is the Lions are more likely gonna win this game and sucker everyone back in, and then next week against Minnesota, they probably dick punch the fan base back to reality. That's the Lions' way. See, I have the Lions win this game. I'm not doing a WarWeek vid on that dipshit Judah Tribe. I'm not wasting my time with that clown. I know Judah Tribe. So I heard Judah's gonna make 3-4 videos about the Lions this week because Judah's obsessed with us. I'm pretty convinced at this point Judah Tribe is a two-teamer. I think he's a closet Lions fan. I bet you if we go to his house in his mama's basement and we open his closet up, I bet you we find a Barry Sanders jersey in there, a Megatron jersey. I bet we find a Charlie Sanders jersey. I bet we find a TJ Hawkinson jersey in there. I bet we find a Dick LeBeau jersey. I bet we find a Billy Sims jersey in there. I bet we even find a Herman Moore jersey in there. Hell, I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar we might find a Dick Night Train Lane jersey in there. Or hell, I bet we even find a Matt Stafford jersey in Judah Tribe's closet. Like, I'm convinced that motherfucker is a closet Lions fan. I'm bet you this. I bet you as soon as the Lions start winning shit, Judah Tribe's gonna be making videos about the Lions nonstop and will be making more vids on the Lions than his own damn team. Because Judah's that obsessed with the Lions. So you know what? I have nothing nice to say to Judah Tribe. And you know, I've been taught at a young age, if I have nothing nice to say, don't say it. So you know what? Jackass Tribe ain't even worth my time. So I'm not wasting my time with that clown. I don't really care what Judah does. Like, I barely even watch any of Judah's videos to begin with. Hell, I haven't even made a video on Judah Tribe since like 2019. I moved on from that clown and focused on bigger and better things. So yeah, for this week, I got the Lions winning this game. Because fuck the Bears, that's why. And plus, it's the most Lions thing to do after the Lions start 0-3 and effectively ended their season last Sunday. Get a win win a game out of nowhere and sucker everyone back in because that's the Detroit way. So yeah, I mean from now to the Rams game, a lot of these games are 50-50 winnable games. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think Detroit wins this game. Do I think it'll be an easy win? Fuck no. It's never easy against the Bears. The Bears and Lions always play each other tough. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a close battle. But in the end, I think Detroit edges it out on a field goal. So yeah, I'll take Detroit plus the 3 points. So I'll take the Lions by 3 in this one. But yeah, and actually, before I end this video off, the Lions have officially solved the linebacking issue. Because with Derek Barnes going in over Jamie Collins, the Lions were putting Jamie Collins on the trade block. But in the end, nobody wanted to bite at Jamie Collins' awful contract. And weren't willing to give up any picks for him. So in the end, the Lions had to do the next best thing. Cut him. But yeah, it's disappointing. I think the Lions could have easily gotten maybe a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Jamie Collins. But in the end, no one wanted that cap hit. And hey, and hey, the only way you can trade someone is if you have a dance partner willing to do it. So in the end, Detroit had to do that to also free up cap space in the process. And it just shows that the Lions are willing to go to a younger linebacking core. So yeah, Jamie Collins is now gone. So now the linebacking core goes to Derek Barnes. So yeah, hopefully Derek Barnes gets a lot of playing time this week. And hopefully Derek Barnes can help make Justin Fields look like a bum and look like another bust. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say. See you all later. Peace out and fuck the Bears and fuck Judah Tribe.